my name is Olga Poroshenko, and I'm from Russia, from Kazan. Maybe you know such city in Russia. Maybe you heard about it, maybe no. Nevertheless, yes, I will try to explain my ideas that I read in video presentation from some parts from my written essay, philosophical essay, but today I don't want to repeat all this, and I would like to present some conclusions in a more scientific manner, just to show the main philosophical ideas that could be interesting for contemporary philosophical discussion. And firstly, I would like to apologize for my poor English, but nevertheless, I will try also to answer your questions if you have any. So today, the problem of developing alternative methods of constructing a new humanistic theory in the context of modern social realities is widely discussed in Western social science. There is an active search for development of the contours of a research paradigm capable of entering into a dialogue with the established paradigms of modernity and postmodernity. In the West, attempts to solve a similar problem are the concepts of such contemporary philosophical movements as postmodernism by Alan Kirby, and the metamodernism by Verbuller, Van der Acker, and Epstein. The relevance of the search for a new scientific language and research methods in humanistic theory is due to an obvious transformation of the picture of the social world order. This is due to the emergence of new global changes and conflicts over the last 30-40 years. The crisis of social structures and the active development of digital and network technologies, that is the emergence of new social processes and practices. Yes, now we're discussing about the challenge that pandemic crisis happen with the world mankind, but to my mind, pandemic situation is only occasion, not the course for these global changes. The most important thing in all this process is the digital technologies. For example, we can remind the book Smart Mobs, The Next Social Revolution by Howard Reingold, and a lot of new ideas that appears concerning this new situation with finding the new picture of the new structure of the subject and the subjectivity of contemporary person appears practically every last years. So increasing psychological tension and anxiety, mental overload, change in subjective perception of reality, existential frustration, cognitive stratification of society, apathy, and alienation of the individual represent a range of major consequences for each individual as a result of globalization changes. These consequences, which have a significant impact on the specifics of human being, should be discussed in a new way in modern social theory. Therefore, the most promising area of research from my point of view today again becomes social anthropology and sociology of person, which set a new research task to find the language of scientific description of the problem of inner world subjectivity of the person. Such kind of research can be possible only within a non-plastic approach that is characterized by, first, criticism of the priority of rational, logical forms of cognition of the world, and blurring the boundaries between the subject and object of cognition. Appearance of such objects of philosophical analysis as will, life impulse, having spontaneous, predictable character. Refusal to create universal systems of knowledge and focus on the study of specific phenomena. Recognition of the pluralization of cognition and the individualization of the image of cognition. Inclusion of value determination in cognitive activities. Recognition in the world of the qualities of constant movement, change, formation, temporality, process, fundamental incompleteness. New anthropological approach is the study of inner world of person, makes it possible to formulate a number of problems in the subject area of sociology of person. First, recognition of the priority of the level of existential being and the range of existential problems over biological, psychological, cognitive, social, and metaphysical levels, and problems in the structure of the person. Second, recognition of the primacy and uniqueness of a person as an independent, integral, and free essence of a human being, opposing the collectivist and individualistic forms of social life. Next, recognition of the complexity of rational cognition and description of the inner world of the person, its subjectivity due to the existence of a deep layer of individual spiritual and existential problems. Contradiction between realistic, rationalistic, social behavioristic, and irrationalistic existential ways of influencing the inner subjective world of the individual. Formation of emotional intelligence as a new form of adaptation to the challenges of modern technogenic society, and resistation of personal presence in the world. Denial of the fundamental influence of historism and sociality on personal development and transfer of freedom of choice, a degree of responsibility to the individual as the realization of his own existential possibilities. Rejection of standardized sociological technologies and recognition of the problem of unsustainable forms of human existence. Recognition of the horizontal type of interpersonal communication based on the methodology of hermeneutics and phenomenology of meaning within the framework of intersubjective communication. So I just mentioned the main topics. Obviously, now I don't have time to describe each of them, but just in the conclusion, the general conclusion, I can say that if we look on the social philosophy of the 20th century and the beginning of the 21st century, we can see kind of the trend in the research field and the definitions of the social philosophical and anthropological concepts. It's trend that started from the reflection on the Fordist economy and the appearance existential, for example, discourse, where individuality was discussed as the main concept for understanding of the social ways of life for the person, and the individualization became the main dimension in the social processes and social structures. But when the era of Fordism finished and started the economy of post-Fordism and the postmodern culture, we can see that the trends of individuality, they are not, and concepts of individuality, they are not working, because all life, all social structures, they are individual. What for to define and this kind of individual concepts. So So we need to find some new concepts and make some shifts from the individuality to the uniqueness of personality. So it seems that now we have to find the new explanation of their inner world in a more deep internal concepts. And that's why it seems that we need to find the new conceptualization of the subjectivity of contemporary person. For example, we can remember the work of Deleuze Cinema, where he tried to formalize the theory of non-individual subject, the new form of subject as subjectivity, where we can see not only the rational ways of explanation of the inner world, but also uh, the, um, the world of internal experience of the person that gives kind of integrated picture of subjectivity for perception of any kind of reality. So the main idea, according to me, is that now we need to change our gaze inside of the person, inside of its inner world, and we need to speak not about the subject for sure after the postmodernist, but we need to speak about the subjectivity and even about the a priori structures of this new type of subjectivity. So this is the main idea. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Poroshenko. If anybody has any questions for our keynote speaker, please.
I could just add that, as I have seen, according to the agenda, the most colleagues, they are not specialists in philosophy, they are maybe in education or in psychology. That's why maybe I need to explain it more applied, for example, to the to education or pedagogic discourse, that even in the education, now we need to speak not only about the individual approach. Maybe we need to speak now about finding the pedagogical technologies for communication with the uniqueness of the student. And for sure, the concept of uniqueness is new and unusual, and it's very difficult to be researched because uniqueness all the time is outside of the scientific discourse, scientific research, because usually in science we're speaking about the universal features, not about the unique. But if we are speaking about, for example, this concept of meta modernism or meta postmodernism, now we're speaking about the new type of personality, autist type of personality, when the contemporary person is living in its internal world, and when the person is living in internal world, it's very difficult to find the ways for communication and for education also. That's why now we have to find the new forms, not only for conceptualization of uniqueness and inner world of the personality, but we also need to find the new educational and pedagogical techniques to reach this inner world of the person.
Thank you very much, Professor Poroshenko, for a lovely, a very interesting presentation. I am sure we all enjoyed listening to you, and thank you for the specificities you emphasized on at the end of your presentation. They were also very interesting.
Thank you very much for the possibility to participate.